السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We continue inshallah ta'ala with our Arabic language session or Arabic language part of our program Summer with Surah Al-Baqarah. We are still on the 10th lesson. What lesson is this? The 9th lesson. We are still on the 9th lesson dealing with verbs. In our last class, we went into some details or a little detail pertaining to verbs. Correct? The tenses, verbs, they're either past tense, present tense, or the command. And we said today, inshallah ta'ala, we're gonna continue where we left off concerning verbs, because this portion that is coming, it needs a lot of focus. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I think the sisters can see now. Yeah. This portion that we are dealing with, it needs some focus and it needs time to digest. So there's two parts in order to master this part that is coming, which is the verb conjugation. The first part is understanding it, comprehending it, and then the second part is memorizing it and digesting it. Now that second part can take days, and I personally don't know of a non-Arab. I don't know all of the non-Arab, from my colleagues, myself included, who master it in days, meaning from the first time they study it. Or it can take weeks. I don't know weeks either. Or it can take months. Right, that is what I know. It takes a few months from the first time you do it. If you had a background, and so it can fast forward a little. And the reason I'm saying that is so you don't give up and you don't try to do it in a day, 2 day, or a week or 2 months, and you say, I'm not getting it, and you leave it off. Right? A lot of students, that's their problem. They always, I'm not getting it, and they leave it off. When you leave it off, you're never going to get it. Let's say you start studying this at the age of 15, and it takes you 10 years to get it, which most people, they get it within a year maximum. Right? But let's say it takes you 10 years to get it. 15 by 25. Now, from 25, let's say you live for the next 25 years. It's with you. And you won't even feel a 10 year that went by. Right? If you're 30 years and it takes you 10 years, 40, you get it for the rest of your life. So don't leave it off. And that's the case with anything that you're studying, whether it's the verbs and specifically the Arabic language. Keep being consistent. And once you get it, inshallah ta'ala, it's going to be with you for the rest of your life, inshallah ta'ala. So Arabic verbs in all its tenses undergo conjugation, which involves changing the verb form based on the person, gender, and number of individuals doing the verb. Right, the verb itself, there is changes you make to the verbs. In English, the verb, dealing with verb is very easy. Right, you have the pronouns are fixed. And you just put it before the verb when it comes to the gender. He did, she did, they, we, I. Right? The verb, you don't do anything with the verb when it comes to the pronoun. When it comes to past and present, there might be regular, irregular verb. When it comes to number, there is no number. Right? There is no number apart from that which is indicated in the pronoun itself. But for Arabic, it's a little more complicated or a little more challenging. These verb forms are created by adding prefixes and suffixes to the root, and we will see in the following table. The command tense, we will cover that later on in the course, inshallah ta'ala. So we have our table here. Masculine, feminine, M for masculine, F for feminine, P for plural, D for dual, meaning two-person. The black is past tense, the blue is present tense. Now, what's meant by masculine, feminine? That's clear, right? If the boy is doing the action, if the girl is doing the action, it's two different verbs. That's masculine, feminine. Plural, in Arabic, there are three numbers. Either a singular. Singular means the amount of individual doing the action is one person. Not that the word is a singular word. Not that the word is a single word, sorry. Not that the word is a single word. So, for example, if the word Muslimun means what? Muslims. Or Mu'minun means believers. That word is a single word, but it's not a singular word, right? It's plural. It's more than one. So that you're going to treat it as plural. But the boy is what? One, right? The boy is one. Now in Arabic, you have, in English, you can say the two teachers or the two boys, but in Arabic, there is, you add the Y and the noon or the alif and the noon. You can say waladan or waladaini. So it's a single word that carries the meaning of plural. More specifically, dual. In English, that's considered plural. Once it's more than one, it's plural. But in Arabic, you have singular, dual, if it's two, and then if it's more than two, it is plural. So we have, for example, the verb alima. Alima means he knew. Now this here is just an exposure, right? Just an introduction, just an exposure. There are many types of verbs. There are some irregularities and so on. But the general concept remains the same. Alima means he knew. If you want to say she knew, you're going to say alimat. You add the ta with the sukun. Now, if you want to say they knew, MD. What's MD? M, masculine, D, dual. Right? They knew, masculine, dual. Meaning, you're talking about two boys, for example. You're going to say alima. You're going to say what? Alima. Now they knew, feminine dual, like two girls. The two sisters knew. You're going to say alimata. So here we add a ta with a sukoon, alif with a sukoon. Here we add a ta and an alif. They knew, masculine plural. Like the Muslims knew, the believers knew, the boys knew, the students knew. You're going to say Ali mu. You're going to say Ali mu. They knew, feminine plural. The woman knew, alim na. Alim na. Right? Not alim na. Alimna. Alimna. Now this is very clear. So long as you don't ask why. Why the ta? Why the alif? Why the ta and the alif? Why the waw? If you ask why, you're going to confuse yourself. Just know, when you want to say she, you add the ta. When you want to say they, either the alif or the ta and the alif. If it's dual, or the waw. If it's plural, or the noon. If it's plural, feminine. Right? And note the change if there's any before. So here with alimna, you put a sukoon on the last original letter of the verb. So this is third person. Right? Third person meaning he, she, and they. Past tense. Present tense, he knows. Ya'lamu. He knows. Ya'lamu. She knows. Ta'lamu. They know, meaning masculine dual. The two boys know. Ya'lamani. The two girls know. Ta'lamani. They know. The believers know. Ya'lamuna. The women know. Ya'lam. Ya'lamna. Ya'lamna. We move on to the second person. Now, there's not much to understand here, right? Here is just knowing what happens and then digesting it. Second person, you know, alimta. If you're speaking to a man, if you are a male, right? Masculine. You know, if you're speaking to a woman, alimti. Sorry, you knew, alimta, alimti, right? You knew, past tense. The two of you knew. Now, for the dual past tense is the same for the masculine and the feminine, right? The dual past tense, second person, is the same for the masculine and the feminine dual. Alimtuma. So you can say, you two girls knew. Alimtuma. You two boys knew. Alimtuma. You all knew. Alimtum. If you're speaking to a group of men. You all knew. If you're speaking to a group of women. Alimtunna. Now, to note, if it's a mixed gathering, men and women, you use the masculine form, right? If it's a mixed gathering, you use the masculine form. So this is past tense. The present tense for the second person. You know, ta'alamu. You know, like, oh Ahmad, you know, ta'alamu. Oh Maryam, you know, ta'alamina. You know, the two of you know, ta'lamani, right? Masculine, feminine, same thing. You all know, ta'lamuna, and you all know feminine, ta'lam, ta'lamna. And then you have first person, which is I knew, alimtu. we knew, alimna, I know, a'lamu, we know, na'lamu. Right? Remember the blue is present tense, the black is past tense. Now note, we knew is alimna, and they knew, feminine is alimna. So you see one stretch, change the meaning, leaving out stretch, change the meaning. Right? Like in Surah Al-Adiyat. وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبَحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا فَأَثَّرْنَ بِهِ فَأَثَّرْنَ بِهِ نَقَعًا. They, referring to they, stirred up the dirt or the dust. But if you say فَأَثَّرْنَ بِهِ, we. فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ, they penetrated the middle. If you say فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ, we penetrate, change the meaning. Right? Instead of referring to the horses, you are implying that Allah is the one who is speaking. Major error, right, in the meaning. Now, how to digest the table? Obviously, don't try swallow the entire table. Take it in 2 steps. I just put everything together here for exposure. As we go through the text, we're gonna mention that this is first person, second person, or they, and so on. But how to digest it? Start with one of the tense. The past tense or the present tense. Organize it in a way that you will visualize it. You don't have to use this table. So let's say you want to learn all of the masculine first. Alima, alima, alimu. So you write that by yourself. You make your own table. Alima, he knew. Alima, they too knew. Alimu, they knew. So in your head, you are visualizing this is your masculine table. Right? So here everything mixed up. Don't learn it from this table. Make your own table. I just put it here for the exposure. Right? Make your own table. Learn there. That's the way I did it. I did it past tense. Then all of the masculine third person. And then you memorize one sample. So alima, alima, alimu, alima, alima, alimu, and you have in your visual memory. This is masculine. He, they. Alima, alima, alimu, right? And then you go to third person. Alimta, alimtuma, alimtum, masculine. We still deal with masculine, right? Alimta, alimtuma, alimtum, and then alimtu, alimna. And you memorize the masculine. And you memorize that. Keep ponging on it for a few days, a few months, however it takes, how long it takes to digest until you master it. Then you practice with some other words. Practice with some other words. That's just like alima. Like for example, if you use jalasa. Right? Even though the middle letter is different, it's the same for it's going to be the same for the past tense. Jalasa, jalasa, jalasu. Jalasta, jalastuma, jalastum. Jalastu, jalasna. Right? After you already master one sample, then you take a few. And they are, they are books, verb conjugation books. Take a few from those books or download the PDF, practice it, then you check back with the book to make sure you get it right. Right? Practice it verbally. We don't have the nature of the crash course. We don't have the room to practice. Right? Or we practice, like I say, he, she, and then you're just trying to process and shout it out. So that's how to digest it. Make your own table, any table that you can visualize. If you want to do all the present tense first, you want to do just like how it is all the third person, however you can visualize it in your memory, take it and you visualize it. and you memorize it. So we're not going to stay too long on this. It's nothing really to understand in the sense of that you got to comprehend principles. Just know this is how it is. This is how you do it. Okay. Now this is where you need some of the understanding. Basic, very basic understanding. You focus, one day you get it, inshallah. In Arabic, verbs must correspond to their nouns or subjects with the appropriate conjugation. However, when a verb precedes a noun that represents the singular form of the verb is used and only matches the gender. This thing put him into sleep, you know. You gotta put some coffee inside. What is it? Huh? Oh, there is sleeping medicine. Zachariah, you going outside? All right. Yeah, where were we? Conjugation. As we said, verbs must correspond with their nouns or the subjects with the appropriate conjugation. So let's take this, for example, let me take from the table here, right? Now, if we were to say, the boy knew, we're going to say, al-waladu alima, match, right? If we're going to say, the two boys knew, al-waladan, we can't say al-waladani alima. We must match. We must match with what? Gender, so we in masculine, and number. Two, we got to match with dual. So we can say al-waladani alima. Al-waladani alima. Now, if we say ar-rijal, what's ar-rijal? The men. We can't say ar-rijalu alima. Nor we can't say ar-rijalu alimat. Right? It's not matching with the gender, it's not matching with the number. We have to say ar-rijalu alimu. We have to say what? Ar-rijalu alimu. The men knew. We can't say ar-rijalu alimna. Doesn't match gender. We can't say ar-rijalu alima. Doesn't match number. Right? That is what's meant by the number. The verb must agree with the number, with the subject, the noun that you are speaking about. Clear? Now let's say al-bint. What's al-bint? The girl. Can we say al-bintu alima? No, we gotta say al-bintu alimat. Al-bintan, the two girls, alimata. An-nisa, the woman, alimna. Right? We have to match everything. Right? That's what's meant by the verb has to be conjugated to match the noun or the subject that you're talking about. However, when the verb precedes the noun that represents they, meaning when the noun comes under they. We're not here, we are only talking about third person, not second person, nor first person. We're talking about third person. So like how, and third person plural, they. Whether it's they dual or whether it's they plural. Right? So for example, we say ar-rijalu Ali mu. Ar-rijalu Ali mu. But if we put the noun, if we put the verb, before, We're not going to say alimu ar-rijalu. What are we going to say? Alima ar-rijalu. We only make sure that the gender match and we keep it in the singular form. Clear? Right? That is what is meant by here. So for example, we have at-tullab yadrusuna. The students are studying fil masjid, in the masjid. The students are studying in the masjid. Now if we put the word studying before the students, we're going to say yadrusu at-tullabu fil masjid. The students are studying in the masjid. And these are two options you have in the Arabic language. Some you can say at-tullab yadrusuna fil masjid, yadrusu at-tullabu fil masjid. Anyone you say, you're going to get the same meaning, right? That's for our level of our Arabic. And the general mass of those who speak don't differentiate between these two. That you're going to study in Balagha. But whatever you use, you're going to be grammatically correct. An example with plural. So, al-akhawat, the sisters, darasna fil masjid. The sisters studied in the masjid. Now, if you want to say the sisters study in the masjid, putting the verb before, we're gonna keep the verb in the singular form, just matching the gender. Darasat al-akhawatu fil masjid. Darasat al-akhawatu fil masjid. If you read this together, you're gonna say what? Darasatil, right? Two sukun come together, you're gonna put kasra here. Darasatil. If you read it together. Clear? Now we have a lot of examples here just to apply the conjugation. And these, after learning the table, right, you can use this to apply it. Or another method for practical purpose, meaning if you want to learn it in a way to be able to apply it without thinking much, you memorize it with examples. So instead of, let's say you're doing the past tense masculine. So instead of learning alima, alima, alimu, right? You learn one sentence for each, a phrase for each. Ahmad alima. Right? Ahmad alima. Ahmad wa Muhammad alima. An-nas alimu. Learn it in a sentence. So you have something that you are relating to mentally. Right? That's another way you can study or learn the verbs. Ahmad alima. Ahmad ya'lamu, present tense. Al-kuffar alimu, past tense. An-nas la ya'lamun. Now this la doesn't affect anything, right? An-nas ya'lamun. An-nas la ya'lamun. Ahmad wa Muhammad, two of them, so you're going to say alima, past tense. And for present tense, you're going to say ya'lamani. Third person, feminine, Maryam alimat. Maryam knew, Maryam alimat. Present tense, Maryam ta'lamu. The girls, al-banatu alimna. Past tense, for present tense, you're going to say al-banatu ya'lamna. Maryam wa Zainab alimata. Present tense, Maryam wa Zainab ta'lamani. Now, second person, let's say you're calling Ahmad. Oh, Ahmad, hal alimt. Do you know? Ya Ahmad, hal ta'lamu. Hal alimt. Right? Did you know? Sorry. Hal ta'lamu. Do you? Do you know? Ya tullab. Oh, students, hal alimtum. Did you? Did you know? If you speak into the students. Ya tullab, hal ta'lamuna. Present tense. O Ahmad and Muhammad. Ya Ahmad wa Muhammad. Hal alimtuma. Did the two of you know? Or hal ta'lamani. Do the two of you know? Present tense. Second person feminine. Right, this will be second person feminine. Ya Maryam, if you speak into Maryam, you're going to say, Hal alimti. Ya Maryam, hal alimti. Past tense, did you know? Do you know? If you say speak into Maryam, you're going to say, Hal ta'lamina. Hal ta'lamina. You speak into the sisters, Hal alimtunna. Hal alimtunna. Present tense, Hal ta'lam. Hal ta'lamna. Hal ta'lamna. Very. First person, I knew. Alimtu, I know. A'lamu. Alimna, we knew. Na'lamu, we know. And this, as we said, is just about reviewing and digesting. You got to review it, digest it, study it, memorize it. Learn one verb. Take one verb as a template that you're going to have in your head. Let's some examples from the Quran. Wara'aita, and you saw. Wara'aita an-nasa, the people. Yadkhuluna, entering. Fi dinillah, in the religion of Allah. Wara'aita an-nasa yadkhuluna fi dinillah. So you saw ra'aita, but when the people enter, an-nas yadkhuluna. La a'budu. Jazakallah khair. La a'budu ma ta'budun. I do not worship that which you are worshipping. So I worship, present tense, a'budu. Ta'budun, you all are worshipping. A'tainaka. A'tai. Wait, no, let's skip one. Illa alladhina amanu. Amanu, except those who believe, meaning they believe. Wa amilu, and they did righteous deeds. Amanu, amilu. Right? Notice the waw, like alimu. A'tayna, we give. A'tayna, the ka there is you. Ja'altu means I made. Ja'altu, I made. Now I use these examples here. They're simple examples from Juz Amma. All of them. Except for one. Which one is not in Juz Amma? Right? Ja'altu lahu, Juz Tabarak. And as we come across the text, we're going to derive them, inshallah ta'ala, in the future classes. Note, when both genders are involved, the masculine form of the verb is applied. The conjugation of a verb may vary in certain aspects depending on its type. Right? This is lesson focused on the regular three-letter verbs. But the general principle is the same. Benefit. In Arabic, the past tense verb can be used to make dua and establish future events. In these cases, it is utilized to emphasize certainty in the occurrence of an action or express optimism regarding its occurrence, as in supplication. For example, Razaqaka Allahu ma'ala. Literally means what? Razaqa means he provided. So ka is you, Allah. So Allah provided you ma'ala, wealth, meaning with wealth. Right? This statement, razaqaka Allahu ma'ala, Allah provided you wealth. But it can be used in the context of a supplication to mean, may Allah provide you with wealth. And we use it all every day, right? When we say, Rahimahullah. Rahima literally means what? Right? Have mercy. Past tense. So, Rahimahu, Allah mean Allah have mercy upon him. Or past, how you translate past tense? Allah had mercy upon him, right? Allah had mercy upon him, or Allah showed him mercy. That's the literal meaning. Rahimahullah, Allah showed him mercy. When we say Ghafarallahu lahu, Ghafara means what? Forgive, past tense. So Allah forgived him. So when we say Ghafarallahu lahu, are we saying and testifying that Allah forgive him? Or testifying Allah showed him mercy? No. Right? That's going to be a form of disrespect and overstepping our boundaries with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's a sin. If we mean that, because we don't know what is the unseen. But rather, it's used as a dua. May Allah forgive him, may Allah show him mercy. But why the Arabs use the past tense when it comes to dua as a form of optimism, as if it's granted, right? As if it's granted. Optimism, wanting that thing to happen. Similarly, when it comes to the future, in the Quran, Allah used the past tense describing the day of judgment in many places. Why? Not because it happened, but to show certainty of its occurrence. Right? There is another type of emphasis in Arabic, using the past tense for the future. Now, how we know when the past tense used for the future so we don't confuse ourselves? Context and common sense. Right? If you start, Allah is talking about the day of judgment, obviously is the future. Similar, the statement concerning the day of judgment, وَبُرِّزَتْ al-jahim. Burrizat al-jahim liman yara. Literally means hell was exposed. Burriza means to be exposed. Burrizat al-jahim, hell was exposed for those who see. But what it means, hell will definitely be exposed for those who see. So now, understanding this, when you study the Quran and you study the tafsir, you're going to have a different feel of the text. Right? And many places you're going to see the translation, the past tense was translated into the future. Also, another thing to note, we didn't write it down here, but we did mention it. You know, in English, there are certain grammatical rules. For example, if I was to ask you, you want to know if we ate yesterday? We're going to say what? Did we eat yesterday or did we eat yesterday? Did we eat yesterday? Even though we're talking about yesterday, why am I not using the past tense? That's a grammar issue. Clear? So similarly in Arabic, there are certain grammar issue that will keep a verb in the past tense even though it's not referring to the past tense. One of it is, for example, after either. Either means when. But it's the when for something that is in the future. But the verb that comes after it most of the time remains in the past tense. Give me an example. إِذَا جَاءَ Nasrullah. Either is when for the future, but the verb after it is what? Literally means he came. So either jaa Nasrullah, when you're not going to translate when the help of Allah came, because that's wrong. That's going to imply past. When the help of Allah come. So that's for grammar, right? After either, the past tense verb is used. Today? No. We moving with the handout. So whatever is in the handout, we're gonna discuss. But we're gonna move over to lesson 10, inshallah ta'ala. No, not right now. You took one before? Yeah, once you took one, you gotta pay $100 for the next one. Or $200 then. We have the rule in the madrasa, right? The first book free and the second one is $5 for the kids. But the adults, we gotta raise the price. Okay. Lesson 10. We were hoping to. How many lessons in this book, in this handout? 10? Okay, so this is last. Tomorrow is what? Thursday? Okay, so we're gonna have the next handout, inshallah, ready for Monday. Okay, let's start so we can make sure we finish tomorrow. We still have a far way to go. This is the third week we're finishing here. Right? The third week. 3 weeks for 10. Another 3. We're gonna see. Inshallah. The next handout maybe have about 15 lessons. Okay. Our next text is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا بَلَدًا آمِنًا وَارْزُقْ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنْهُمْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ قال ومن كفر فأمتعه قليلا ثم أضطره إلى عذاب النار وبئس المصير. وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. Let's see, inshallah, if we don't finish 2, at least we finish 1 of these verses. وَإِذْ, waw is an, إِذْ means when. إِذْ means when, but it's a when for incidents of the past. Either is when for incidents of the future. And إِذْ is when for incidents of the past. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. Qala means said, Ibrahim. And when Ibrahim said. Now if you read the entire thing, and when Ibrahim said, my Lord, make this city a secure city, provide its people with fruits, whoever amongst them believe in the last day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, I will grant them, the disbelievers, an enjoyment for a small little time, then I will force them to the fire of hell. If you read the entire verse, the when, what's the when related to is not there. For example, if I say, when the teacher come and teaches the student and said to the student, who did the homework? And the student said, I did the homework. And the teacher rewarded those who did the homework and did punish those who didn't do homework. Full stop. Something missing from the sentence, correct? You following? What about the when? If I was to say, And when the teacher came and entered the class and asked the students who did the homework and rewarded those who didn't who did the homework and punished those who didn't do the homework, full stop. Isn't the sentence incomplete? Right? Is a pretext for something. When all of that happened, what happened? Or what to do? Understand? When the boy come and sit and listen to the teacher, full stop. The sentence incomplete, right? There's something missing. Now, what is this when a pretext to? And if, for those who have a little background with Arabic, this when is generally a maf'ulun bihi. You know what's a maf'ulun bihi? An object. This when is generally a maf'ulun bihi. So what is it an object for? Remember. Right? When you say when like this, and when Ibrahim talking about something of the past, what's understood is you're telling the person, remember when, recall when. You're bringing to them their attention this story or this incident of the past, and you're telling them to recall it or remember it. And if you check in a lot of the translation, you're going to see they have remember in brackets. Because it's in the Arabic language. وَإِذْ قَالَ Ibrahim. So when Ibrahim said, meaning, udhkur, remember, recall, when Ibrahim said. What did he say? Rabbi. Rabbi means my Lord. Oh my Lord. This Rabbi here means oh my Lord. The O is understood. It's not mentioned. Ya Rabbi is not mentioned. Rabbi means oh my Lord. He's calling out to his Lord. He's not just saying my Lord as in a subject. Right? He's saying oh my Lord. Whereas the O is understood. It's there. It's just not mentioned. The Ya is there, but it's not mentioned. Oh my Lord. Ij'al. Ij'al means make. Right? The dua, the request form for ja'ala. We did ja'ala before, right? In we did it a few times. Ja'ala. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Right? Don't make for Allah equals. So make هذا this. Make this. What is the this that he is referring to? This, the Makkah. Right? He's referring to make this, meaning Makkah, baladan, a city, aminan, safe and secure. Aminan. Make this a city, safe, aminan, safe and secure. Right? Aminan can give you both of those meaning. Warzuk and urzuk. Urzuk, request form for razaqa. Razaqa, he provided. Urzuk, you're asking or requesting or commanding someone to provide. But in the dua, this is dua. So you're not going to say command form, but it's dua. The dua form of the verb. Urzuk, provide. Ahlahu. Ahl, family or people. Here it's people. Who is its, meaning they refer back to the city. And provide its people. Warzuk ahlahu. Min ath-thamarat. From ath-thamarat. Thamarat is fruits. Right? We did thamarat before, correct? Right? Thamarat came a few times in Surah Al-Baqarah. Thamarat means fruits, and provide its people from the fruits. Now, what is meant by provide them from the fruits? What is the meaning of this from here? Obviously, they won't be provided with all of the fruits in the world. So this from here means some. Provide them from the fruits, meaning provide them of the fruits. Right? Of fruits. From the provisions you're giving them is fruits or some of the fruits. Who to provide? Now this is the dua of Ibrahim. Who to provide? Provide them or provide his people from the fruits of the fruits, meaning make from their provisions some of the fruits of the world. Man amana. Man, who, those who, amana, believed, minhum, from amongst them. So dua, Ibrahim alayhi salam is making dua for Allah to only provide who? The believers, the Muslims. Man amana minhum, from them, meaning from among them. Man amana minhum billah, in Allah, wal yawmil akhir, and the last day. Qala, he said, meaning Allah said, wa man, and who, kafara, disbelieved, fa umatti'uhu, then umatti'u means to cause someone to enjoy something. Matta'a, umatti'u means I will cause him to enjoy. So I will give him, grant him enjoyment. Right? You know the hayat, wa mal hayatud dunya illa mata'. The worldly life, not but mata'. So mata' is to give, make something a mata'. Right? Make something a mata' for you. Also mata' can be used to mean belongings. Right? Your belongings that you benefit from and enjoy your provisions and so from. Right? وَتَرَكْنَا يُوسُفَ عِنْدَ مَتَاعِنَا. Possessions. فَأُمَتِّعُهُ. So Allah is saying, Ibrahim is asking only for the believers, but Allah is saying, those who disbelieve, I'm going to give him enjoyment, قَلِيلًا, a little. ثُمَّ, then, أَضْطَرُّهُ. I will أَضْطَرَّ. Attarru means force. Who? Him. Right? Attarruhu, thumma attarruhu, I will force him, compel him, ila, to, adhabin nar, punishment of the fire, wa bi'sal masir. Wa, and bi'sa. Now when you use bi'sa something, means this thing is bad or evil, or wretched, unpleasant. When you say bi'sar rajul, is a bad man, right? Is the opposite of what? Ni'mah. Wa bi'sal masir. And it's a wretched, evil, bad destination. Al-masir is your destination. So we're going to pause here, inshallah ta'ala, and continue with the meaning of the vocabulary from this text and complete this first part of the handout and graduate from our first handout. We can't graduate without the exam. Inshallah ta'ala, we end here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa nastaghfiruk wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.